Cross-case analysis then allowed researchers to uncover patterns and variations in the career paths and identity negotiations of participants. This step was essential in developing a conceptual model that addresses the paradoxical nature of intersectional invisibility, where Black women are both hypervisible and marginalized. This rigorous approach resulted in a rich, detailed account of the outsider-within experience that Black women often encounter in executive roles. The study's findings revealed a unique paradox within the experience of intersectional invisibility for Black women in executive roles. These women navigated both benign and hostile forms of invisibility, each presenting its own mix of constraints and opportunities. On one hand, benign invisibility provided a sense of freedom from stereotypical expectations. This absence of rigid labels allowed for greater autonomy and creativity, enabling these women to shape their roles more independently. However, the other side of the coin, hostile invisibility, presented significant challenges. Their outsider status often required them to take proactive steps to build visibility and credibility in environments largely dominated by white, male colleagues. To manage this paradox, participants exercised agency through strategies such as bold autonomy, asserting their voices and taking ownership of their career paths, and conscious relationship crafting, where they deliberately cultivated professional connections to support their advancement. These tactics allowed them not only to leverage their outsider status to their advantage but also to mitigate the challenges it posed. The discussion in this study brings forward a fresh perspective on social identity management by introducing the concept of paradoxical intersectional invisibility. This nuanced view goes beyond traditional approaches, which often see visibility as a simple, either-or state. Instead, the study suggests that Black women's intersecting identities function as flexible and fluid, allowing them to selectively emphasize or downplay elements of their race and gender based on the situation. This theoretical model reframes intersectional invisibility, showing that identity negotiation is not a static choice between authenticity and assimilation. Rather, it's a dynamic, context-driven process. Black women in executive roles navigate their identities with adaptability, engaging with their intersecting identities in ways that best fit each professional scenario. By highlighting this fluid approach, the study pushes us to rethink social identity frameworks, suggesting they should account for the complex, adaptive ways individuals manage multiple identities in diverse and often challenging work environments. I will now turn it over to Alison to talk about the last 4 parts of the study.
Thank you, Sandra. We will finish off our conversation today by talking about the research study's methodological rigor and reflective practices. Assessing validity in qualitative research presents unique challenges, as there is no universal standard for evaluation. For our analysis, we focus on 2 main aspects of validity: internal and external validity. Internal validity, which relates to the accuracy of findings, was addressed in this study through methods like triangulation, cross-case analysis, and rigorous coding. The use of multiple coders and achieving thematic saturation helped to reinforce the credibility of the results. In terms of external validity, or the generalizability of findings, the study's focus on Black women in senior executive roles limits broad applicability. However, by purposefully sampling high-level executives, the researchers provided rich, context-specific insights into intersectional invisibility within leadership settings. These rigorous methodologies, though specialized, enhance the depth and reliability of the study's conclusions about the unique experiences of Black women in executive roles. In terms of reflexivity, which reflects the researcher's positionality and its impact on the research, this study leaves some questions unanswered. Reflexivity can provide crucial insight into how researchers might influence or be influenced by their work. Although this study is presented as an outsider's perspective, it's unclear if that is truly the case, as the researchers' positionalities regarding race are not disclosed. While brief bios at the end of the article indicate that all 4 authors are female, based on the pronoun she, no information about their racial backgrounds or personal connections to the topic is provided. This leaves readers questioning whether the authors might be drawing from personal experience or if they critically examined their own perspectives and potential biases during the research. Unfortunately, without transparency on these points, it's difficult to assess how reflexivity was managed or accounted for in the study. The researchers' most effective efforts were evident in their thorough data collection and analysis process. They engaged deeply with their participants, conducting interviews with 53 Black women executives across 2 points in time, resulting in an impressive 3,300 pages of data. This robust sample size, nearly 3 times larger than previous studies on Black women's careers, strengthened the study's credibility and depth. In the analysis phase, the research team met weekly to refine their understanding and coding, carefully examining alternative perspectives and explanations to ensure balanced insights. For instance, they highlighted both positive and challenging aspects of intersectional invisibility, and noted that white male mentors were often seen as effective and supportive allies. Additionally, the researchers provided rich descriptions and a detailed audit trail, dedicating 12 pages to their data structure and study methods, which added to the study's transparency and reliability. We identified several areas where the study could be improved. To strengthen internal validity, the authors could have used respondent validation, or member checks, after each interview round. This approach would help confirm the accuracy of their interpretations and ensure they were faithfully representing participants' experiences. Additionally, a peer review process with colleagues outside the research team could further validate their analysis procedures, providing an external check on their coding and theme development. The study's reliance on only 2 points of data collection over 7 years also limited the ability to capture real-time career progress and intersectional experiences. A potential improvement could be implementing a mechanism for participants to initiate interviews at key moments, like promotions or role changes, to add more real-time perspectives. Ethically, we noted a potential risk in the use of first names, job titles, and industries in participant descriptions, which could compromise confidentiality. Using numerical codes instead of names would better protect identities, especially given the professional and personal sensitivity of the information shared. Finally, to enhance reflexivity, we recommend that the authors provide more transparency about their own backgrounds and perspectives. A more thorough presentation of self would allow readers to better assess potential biases and interpret the study's findings with a fuller understanding of the researchers' positionalities.
Thank you all for spending time with us today, as we spoke through our article. We all hope that you found it as interesting and thought-provoking as we did.